we're gonna do something, I'm gonna test something. Since this is the GT350 and not my GT3, we're gonna do, and I have plenty of layers of protection on the car. I think I'm gonna use, I've had this for, I don't know, 3 years now. It's called Road Warrior Plus. So this is a roll-on, like almost like a clear film that you can then spray off when you're done with it. And so I'm going to roll it onto the, I don't know, we'll see. I'm going to roll it onto a large percentage of the GT350's hood, roof, mirrors, rockers, and then I'll fall on the sword and we'll see what it how it comes off. I hope it's not a nightmare. You know, I did a small test spot before on the GT3, but I chickened out on it. And so I bought this for the original trip, but we're going to test it since I have, again, lots of layers of protection. So the general idea here is that you want to put a couple of coats on. You're not supposed to shake it. You're supposed to just mix it like I'm doing. And then they sell like little pans that I've had for 3 years now, over 3 years. So I'm just going to wipe the areas down real quickly with some, I kind of want to play with this anyway, and then we'll start to roll the stuff on. All right, let's roll this on. You know, and the reason to worry about this with the mountains is, it was a lot thicker than that, is that the car just gets beat up. All right, let's roll it on, see what happens. So I'm not really worried about this messing anything up. I just don't want it to be super hard to get off. So I want to be careful not to get it all over the place. I already got it in the cracks. So it rolls on white and then turns clear. So we'll see if this looks any better than just doing tape, painter's tape. 2 nice straight lines, and then it says that you can heat activate it. So, I mean, this stuff is designed to be used like for a track day or, you know, exactly what I'm doing, a trip to the mountains. As a temporary clear coat. I mainly just think it's something fun to test out. Let's see what Michelle says about this. Shoot. Making a mess. You can already tell it's not sticking so well because I got all this wax on the car. What is it? Oh, sweet.
Dad, what is that?
What?
Glue on your car. I smell Elmer's glue.
Doesn't it smell like Elmer's glue?
Yeah, that's what that is.
You think?
Yeah.
I bet you it might be.
It's like one of those things you rub on your face and pull off the Rockhead commercials.
Dad, what are you doing?
I'm ruining my car.
This is something you've
Why?
never done.
Why you?
Remember I bought this years ago and then I chickened out on it?
Why are you? Why?
Oh, this is for driving in the mountains?
Yeah.
You're gonna... You just did all this work on your car and now you're making it look terrible.
Yeah, but I think this stuff comes right off. That's what we're going to find out.
Just do that much and try it and then don't do any more. Because that's a big old test spot you're doing there, Chumpy. Why didn't you do like a little spot?
Yeah, all or nothing, Shelly.
Okay, babe. Well, oh, jeez.
Is this car on
Here, you got a special surprise in the mail today.
What is
Sweet.
Auto scrub sponge. Eliminates clay. Oh, yeah.
it for clay?
Who knows with Daddy? All right, Ryan, you want to go return the chair to Target?
No, would you guys just relax for 5 seconds?
You don't ever relax for 5 seconds?
Yeah, so wheel. This is you.
No, be sweet, Ryan.
I don't think this is gonna work.
No glue on the car.
That is not good.
What do you think?
You're crazy. If nobody else is doing it, then it's probably no good. You probably would have heard of it if, I don't know.
Why is Dada doing this? What are you doing, Dada?
I'm a trendsetter, Shelly.
What is
I'm a-
Dada doing?
I'm a pioneer.
Dada, what are
I'm
you
not a
doing?
follower.
Why are you putting glue on your car? Dada, why are you putting glue on your car?
I like to do crafts.
No. Then just why are you putting glue on your car?
He's gonna glue all the love bugs to his car, right?
What? No, you're not, right?
Maddie,
All right.
so I just went online and looked at how far this place is.
Yeah, it's like 9 hours.
Yeah, you
What?
said 8 hours.
8 hours and change.
8 hours and 57 minutes. Why did you pick somewhere so far? Like the other place was far. This is like a whole nother far.
It's
It's
9.
almost to Tennessee.
All right, well, that's where we're going to be anyway, so why not go all the way there?
It's gonna be long.
Ryan, what are you gonna do? Can we please go halfway and halfway?
Yeah. No. Let's go one day there.
This is a terrible idea, isn't it?
Yes, so stop. Now you're getting on your shorts.
Dada, don't do it.
Are you sure you're supposed to do it as thick as you're doing it?
Yeah,
Or you don't really know?
pretty sure.
What
It
is
dries
that?
clear.
Dada, what are you doing
Okay,
anyway?
well why don't you give it a break for a minute and let's see what it looks like. I'm telling you, something is going on. There's someone on the loose.
Something's happening.
He's making the perfect circles. But I thought search helicopters go a little bit slower. But it is just like doing the same circle over and over and over. It's looking for you, Ryan.
Go check the news. Check Facebook.
Leesburg, word of mouth.
You would be crying if I get taken away. It's not looking for me, it's looking for you. I did.
I don't know, people. I don't like this. I don't like how this is looking already. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. All down my frickin' arm. So we'll see. I'm gonna let this dry and I'll come back and we'll kind of play with the idea of whether we're gonna do the whole front of the car or not, right? So we're gonna let this dry. We'll see how it does. See how clear it dries. It's having a really hard time sticking to my wax. I might do the top of the roof and the mirrors as well. All right, so we got the first coat on. I've always wanted to try this. I've had this for a long time and figure I'll fall on the sword and give it a test and put it through its paces, put a couple of coats on it, kind of see how it goes. So, I don't expect it to be wonderful. Of course, the option, it's an alternative when you're taking one trip like this once every couple of years in a car like this, than doing, full paint protection film on the thing and having to look at it all the time. So, anyway, I'll come back to you in a few. So much for doing a test spot. It did half the car. So I did the front end, I did the hood. I think this is actually going to do pretty well, and I did the spot back here. It dries really, really clear. It looks like a, like some crazy orange peel. But I don't know, we'll see. It's kind of fun to try it, see how it holds up. And I go beat on it in the mountains. So I'm gonna back the truck up and start worrying about loading this thing. So let's see how my Road Warrior. So it looks like it'll definitely come off with water. You can see it get kind of tacky in the water, but you know, I don't know. We'll see. I love testing this kind of stuff. Hopefully I love testing it. Hopefully it comes off the car, you know, when I'm done with this. But you know, the good part will be hopefully a few extra rocks will bounce off the car rather than chipping it. And then I can just go back to unmessed with waxed paint. At least that's the plan. And you can see I have it, you know, back here too on the rocker area. So in our trip just down to the gas station down the hill here, the Road Warrior folded up and I just pulled it off. Interesting, came right off. So the good news is this is going to come right off with a pressure washer. The bad news is when the car's wet, you need to let it dry, otherwise it's not going to work. So it certainly isn't going to work in the rain. So we're packed up, about to head out here. I'm pretty sure this stuff worked really well. You can see we've taken a beating from some bugs, and I've just cleaned the windshield this morning. I noticed, you know, 2 or 3 rock chips, so yeah, we definitely had some rocks flying around, but we'll see when I remove the Road Warrior. You know, it looks funky, and you know, I think, you know, certainly it doesn't look great, but it looks better than tape. Less, you know, especially when you're just out driving around, it looks, you know, looks stealthy. But we'll see about removal. It removed very easily off the roof, you know, when that piece flew off earlier. So anyway, Brian and I are gearing up. He's going to be driving, and we're going to head out of the mountains and head back home. All right, so I'm back from the mountains, and we've got this ridiculous looking road armor stuff all over the car. You can see where the second layer is. So I have 2 layers there, but only 1 layer here. It's turned really, really shiny. It wasn't as shiny before because it rained yesterday. So I drove to the gym yesterday and it poured down rain. But this stuff really did hold up well. You just can't get it wet. As soon as it gets wet, it lifts off. And so you saw in the video earlier how it lifted off the roof. But now I'm going to wash the car and see how easy it is to get off. I mean, it looked like it was super easy because last night I drove in the rain, came home, and then it dried again. And so we're going to get this stuff off with the pressure washer. But we'll see. But you know, I have some rock chips on the windshield, but I think that this may have actually worked really well to help keep junk off. So you can see like this here peeled up after the rain last night. So as long as you don't get it wet, it stays on really well. It would probably stay on better too if I didn't have such aggressive, you know, tons of layers of wax and sealant on the thing. So I'm going to clean the wheels and we'll come back and see how this does washing it off. Because I'm going to wet it first, because it definitely lifts after it gets wet. You know, so the purpose of this is when I'm in the mountains. I mean, the mountains are brutal and rocks, and all the shoulders are gravel in most cases. So the question is how much residue is this going to leave? Is this going to come off reasonably easy? Is it going to take all day to get off? Again, I put it on the roof and it blew right off, so I think it's going to peel off in like a big sheet. And I put it back here too. I'm telling you, this stuff is like Elmer's glue with like a little bit of rubber in it or something. Well, that's certainly easy enough. The other question is, do we avoid a lot of rock chips? Did it help protect with that? Because it's really thin now when it's wet, but when it was dry, it's pretty darn thick. So the first time I put a little bit of this on the GT3, I chickened out because of how it looked. And so I said, you know what, let me just do it and see what happens. Wow, that's great. So, it looks ugly. So we're in the mountains and my car doesn't look so great. But in like a couple of hours of driving around the mountain roads, the car gets destroyed from dirt and bugs and things like that. So that's why I decided, you know what, let's just put it on there and test it out and see what happens. It's certainly coming off nice and easily. It's also coming right off the trim, like the little areas that I accidentally hit. Sweet. See if it comes off the headlights. Awesome, guys. This is great. So, again, an option would be you just put, you clear bra the car. And that's what everyone says who's never done it. Those who have done it know how much it cost, the pros and cons of it. See this now that I'm back in Florida and don't need the protection like I did in the mountains, I wanted to see if this was a reasonable solution to protect the paint. Look at that. So it seems like the more I put on, the bigger the area. So there's no reason to do a smaller area, because look at this. It's all pulling right off. One big sheet. That's cool. Like a snake skin. And then we'll see here in a minute how it does after a wash. If I have a bunch of residue that I need to clay bar off or auto scrub off. And then how much ancillary residue I have left over. How much of a pain that's going to be. So 2 coats is, I think, better. 1 for protection. 2, it's easier to get off than 1 coat. Again, I just wonder how much I'm going to have it in all the cracks and crevices and be finding it for months. But we were on the Cherahalla getting pelted by rocks. It's probably where I got my... If you're not familiar, the Cherahalla is one particular really great road in the... I want to say is it in Tennessee, or I think it's in Tennessee. I think it's partly in Tennessee, partly in Carolina. North Carolina. But in the morning, the dew will get this stuff activated, and then it'll fly off if you head out too soon. So now when I wash the car, the rest of this little bit should come off. Cool, I'll pull that last side off, I'll wash it, and I'll let you know what we're seeing. There's just a little bit of extra residue left over on this section of the car, probably from the rocks hitting. So I'm just gonna do a really light auto scrubbing here just to get whatever leftover junk I have on the paint. This really shouldn't. It was light as I'm doing this here, and as many layers of junk, as many layers of wax and stuff I have in the car shouldn't be any issue with any marring or anything like that. All right, so I'm going to do that at a couple more spots just to get it off. But in general, stuff is great, man. It came off in say 20 minutes, in part of a normal wash. And so I'm sure I'll find a few little spots, but I'll come back to you when I'm putting a layer of wax, of spray wax, Optimum spray wax in the car, and we'll kind of see how it did as far as rock chips are concerned. All right, so this looks to have done an extremely good job at keeping the car largely devoid of rock chips. A little bit of runoff I need to get off. And it's been easy to remove. It's not like I've been working hours to get this off. It took maybe an hour to put on, maybe an extra hour to take off, but has done a great job. There's that one little piece stuck in here. It does a great job protecting the paint. I think the key is making sure that you're putting it on. The thicker you put it on, the more layers you put, the easier it's coming off. And so I'm using a little bit of OptiSeal as a drying aid here. And then just hitting all the little spots where I had a little extra piece of, or it kind of got into a crack or something. But it's come off darn near 100%. That was what I was worried about, is how much work is this going to be to remove? Am I going to have it all over the place on the black trim and stuff? And I've gotten it off. And so I do see a couple of big, what would have been big rocks. Here's one here. There's one here. But I don't see any on the hood. And so this was, I think, a very worthwhile exercise. One, to test. Two, to protect. And it really didn't add all that much more work in this this wash to get us all cleaned up. Notice a little bit in the cracks. It all bunches up, comes right out. My guess is after, this is the first wash, my guess is after one more wash, I'll have this completely removed. I did have to pull out the auto scrub in a couple of spots just to make it easier to get the excess off. But all in all, I think Road Warrior is a solid solution for someone who's going to take a trip to the mountains but doesn't want to have to deal with looking at clear bra 24/7, if you're like me. All right, the GT350 is clean, back together. Tires, wheels, brakes, interior, everything's back to whole. So I feel good about the universe. And I was behind somebody the other day and saw an Obsessed Garage sticker, and I'm like, shoot, I need to get that thing back on my car. So I put a new sticker back on. But anyway, the Road Warrior stuff is pretty legit. I like it. I'll definitely use it again. I think it's a decent option if you're going to go do something where you're going to get pelted with all kinds of rocks and dirt and stuff. So anyway, thanks for checking this out. And if I can answer any questions or anything, just put it in the comments about how I did it and how I got it off. I mean, you saw mostly in the video. There's a few little spots that I didn't shoot where I grabbed the I didn't video where I grabbed the auto scrub just to kind of hit. Really what happens is if you roll it on lightly, you know, so as you're trailing off to the end of the area, so you almost want to make a straight line. So let's say we're going to do this section here. I wouldn't want to kind of roll it and run out of material. I'd want to roll a straight 2 coats, because that extra, you know, that extra inch or so, that's where the little dots kind of leave a residue. But if you put it on thick enough, it comes right off. So anyway, thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more crazy. Because what happens when the force pulls you back, your foot naturally comes off the gas. You have to keep your foot to the floor.
Dialed in.